This video contains spoilers for Thor Love and Thunder. Do not watch this video if you have not seen the movie. So, another Marvel movie finally came out, being Thor Love and Thunder. And I did not really want to review it. Here's the thing, what happens whenever I usually watch a Marvel movie is I'll come out, I'll instantly review it. However, I'll be in that phase where I'm still really hyped about it and I'll just be thinking about it all the time. And this usually obviously causes me to have a very positive review, even if it's a movie that I don't think is so good anymore. This is especially the case with movies like Black Widow and Eternals. So that's why I wanted to wait a week before I came up with a review for the movie. I gotta say, this is like the most mixed I've ever been on a Marvel movie because sometimes I really like it, sometimes I don't like it at all, and sometimes I'm in the middle. But let's get into the movie, I guess. My first positive is Chris Hemsworth and, Thor himself. His character's in a very different place from what we've seen before, and it's very clear that Chris Hemsworth loves playing this character, which I just think is very cool. He's very comfortable with the role, and it's very obvious when watching the movie. I also loved the Guardians in the movie. It's a shame that they weren't in the movie for very long, but from what we saw, they were easily my favorite aspect of it. I just wish that they weren't written out after 10 minutes. I also like the way that Jane Foster's story was handled and what her cancer means. I feel like her cancer story could be so impactful to other people around the world. Not a big fan of them killing her off so early, however, she'll probably come back and become Valkyrie or something, so I don't know. I also love Christian Bale and his performance as Gore the God Butcher because he's able to be scary and, fucked up funny. And when I say that, I mean funny in a way of, Freddy Krueger and how he always makes jokes while just fucking killing people. Obviously not to that degree since it's a fucking Marvel movie, but you get what I mean. Honestly, I just think that in general, Gore was a pretty good villain. He was cool, creepy, and I thought that Bale did a good job playing him. Also, he had a good motivation. I just wish that he had more screen time because he was super underused in this movie, and I'll get to that in a minute. I also really do like the romance part of this movie. My favorite scene in the movie is literally the scene where we see Thor and Jane Foster's relationship before they broke up, in 2014. It was a very nice scene where you see the highs and lows of the relationship, and then they slowly grow apart because of their separate jobs. Again, easily my favorite scene in the movie. Also, I think that the final act is way better than the first two. This is because now the constant stream of jokes has finally fucking ended after constant amount of jokes. And without the constant jokes, it's able to give the movie a chance to actually focus on the emotional moments, which I think are actually very good. And, well, I mean, there were some cool action scenes. Yeah. I don't know, man, just some stuff really didn't do it for me. I guess the first thing I'll mention is Jane Foster, more specifically Natalie Portman. It does not seem like she wants to be in this movie at all, and she looks very uncomfortable. You know how I said that Chris Hemsworth is very comfortable being funny in this role? Well, Natalie Portman doesn't seem to be very comfortable in this type of movie, and it's not because she's a bad actress at all, it's just because she isn't right for this type of movie. She is great in other stuff, but I just don't think this type of film works for her. I mean, she has some great performances like V for Vendetta and Black Swan. When she's playing this cool and confident character, I think that's when she does much better. It's way better than when she's playing this weirder, more comedic version of Jane, which I don't even really know how to describe beyond that. And along with that, I'll mention that some of the humor, well, most of the humor actually doesn't really work. Now, I could just say that a lot of it's unfunny, which, yeah, but this movie uses some really weird humor. Remember back in, 2010 and 11 where there was, screaming goats humor? Well, that type of stuff is in this movie, and it's dangerously unfunny. The goats scream. That's literally the entire joke. There were also some other bad jokes, like a fucking love triangle between Thor, Mjolnir, and Stormbreaker, which is just so stupid. I don't mind jokes in a movie, it's just the fact that this movie has a constant stream of unfunny jokes, and when I say constant, I mean it. The constant, never-ending stream of jokes in the movie actually takes away from the story. It gets so fucking annoying. On top of that, it feels like a huge chunk of this movie is missing, and that is because of the fact that it is only 2 hours. Well, technically 158 minutes including credits. A lot of stuff with Gore and Valkyrie feels severely underdeveloped, which is because of that fucking runtime. And we will not even be able to see the deleted scenes because Taika doesn't want us to for some reason. Yeah, Taika's a very weird guy, and I don't understand him. And along with this brings a bunch of cool stuff in the trailers that just isn't in the movie. This shot, not in the movie. This shot, not in the movie. This shot, not in the movie. This fucking sick-ass shot, not in the movie. So many cool shots that I was really excited to see the full context for in the movie were cut, and there's a very flimsy reason why, because they wanted it to be under 2 hours for some weird reason. If movies like this and Multiverse of Madness were allowed to be over 2 hours and 30 minutes, then they would be so much better. Also, this movie has some really bad VFX, which is weird because it has like $200 million for its budget. Like, you guys know that one shot of the movie that's been going around on Twitter, and it's just been getting fucking clowned on because of how bad it is? Well, it's 100% deserved, and it looks even worse than the fucking movie. Honestly, I feel really bad for the people who do the VFX at Marvel, because apparently they're, like, severely underpaid and overworked. And it sucks because if Marvel paid them more and gave them more time, then their stuff would be infinitely better and the workers would be much happier. But that's how it is, I guess, which kind of sucks. But yeah, overall, I was very disappointed by this movie. There are scenes in this movie that I really like. I enjoy the final act and the first 10 minutes. I don't really know what to give this movie for a score, either like a 5 or a 6, but for now I'm thinking I'll go with just a 5.5 out of 10.